Hey, Fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps with Tidal Sports Network, and I'm joined now with the one and only Jamie Moore. Jamie, congratulations for you and the team. How are you feeling right now?
Relieved. Like, honestly, the number one emotion is relief, because this has been over 2 years coming, and Jack Catterall, me, Nige, all the guys in the gym, seems like all we've talked about is this for over 2 years. And it's finally been put to bed. And you know, the scorecard wasn't great. I've got to call that out. I don't think it was fair, the same way I called it out in the first fight. So, you know, it has to be balanced. I think the right guy won this time, but I thought it was too wide, and I thought Jack won it by 2 or 3 rounds.
Did you worry at any stage that you guys were never actually going to get this fight made? Because I'm going to be honest, I did not think that we'd ever see this fight happen or the rematch happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest, even as recently as when people seen the phone call when we was in Tenerife training camp, at that point in time I thought, that's it, the fight's never going to happen. Even though after about 20-30 minutes I realised it was only a 4-week delay, so it wasn't as bad. But, you know, the fight's been made 4 times before that and fell through in the last 2 years. So I honestly believed, listen, it's probably never going to happen. We have to accept it and move on. And then Sam sort of, I'll be honest with you, Sam Jones made this fight happen. He was so determined for Jack.
He's going to fucking love this interview, right?
I know. If he was made of chocolate, he'd eat himself. But when someone deserves praise, they should get it. And I promise you, the amount of times for 3 months he was on the phone to me nearly every night going, I'm nearly there with it. I'm nearly there with it. Such a body's going to put it on. Right, it's fell through. Eddie's going to do it. Right, Ben Shalom's going to do it. He's going to go with Sauder. Josh Taylor doesn't want to go Saudi. Right, we're going to go here. I swear to you, 3 months it went on. And then it got to the point where we thought it was not going to happen. And then Eddie went, right, listen, I'm going to do it. And it was like, wow. And then when we got that call in Tenerife, I thought, it's just doomed. It's never going to happen. And then thank God it has. He's right that wrong. And I just hope to God Eddie can get him a world title shot now.
Post-fight, both men were gentlemen's. You know, neither one of them said anything negative. Josh gave Jack all the credit.
I'm glad as well. I've got to be honest with you. I'm glad, you know, and I love that sort of needle and that British rivalry. But both fighters deserved respect off each other tonight after that. That was a dog fight. That was a real tough fight. And Jack dominated the first half. Josh pulled it back in the second half, and then Jack finished strong. And he's never really been tested like that, Jack, before. So he's going to learn a lot from it. But for him to be pushed hard against a phenomenal fighter like that and come through the way he did at the end is going to be the best lesson he can ever get.
Jack has mentioned Teofimo Lopez as the #1 on his list to fight. What do you make of that fight?
Yeah, I think it's a great fight. You know, we spoke about Teofimo for a long time. Not in a bad way, but I just believe there's certain fighters with certain styles what Jack's really good with, and I believe Teofimo is one of them. But I also would say I'd put Teofimo #1 at the minute at 140. You know, with the Haney Garcia situation where he came in overweight and it was only a couple of pounds, but he didn't make weight, so that means that he can't be classed as #1. Haney's still champion, but he lost the fight. So I'd say.
But it's still controversial because of the drug testing and whatnot.
Yeah, and don't start me off on the Matrix stuff and the conspiracies and stuff like that, which, you know, nobody ever knows. But as far as I'm concerned, Teofimo was #1 at the minute, and if Jack could get a fight with him, I'd be over the moon for him, and I truly believe he can beat him.
A lot of fight fans could be quite fickle and very harsh when someone loses. There's a lot of, obviously, talk online and whatnot about maybe Josh Taylor should retire, this and that. What do you make of people saying that given his performance tonight? Like, would you?
I think there's two sides to it. I think the performance Josh put in tonight proved that he's still got a lot left in the tank. But do I personally believe Josh is at the position or in a position where he maybe should start thinking about turning it in? Then yeah, I do. I mean, and I'm only talking about me from a personal point of view, but I was 31 years old when I retired, and it was because I'd been in a lot of hard fights, and I started to feel it in my body. It was like there's a lot of miles on the clock. I don't want Josh to sort of go through that. You know, he's got a family, he's got the rest of his life ahead of him, and you know that was a hard fight tonight. It was a really hard fight, and at some point he's going to go to dig deep and go to the well, and it's not going to be there. And luckily for him tonight, it was, and he got through it, and he gave a great account of himself.
Well, what about at 147?
He's still got to dig deep.
Yeah,
you know, he's got the style. He's got a similar style to what I had. So I sort of relate to him a little bit, like that high intense southpaw pressure style, and it puts miles on the clock.
Yeah.
It really does, because you've got to really go through the grind, go through the mill to have an impact on your opponent, and at that level, it has a big impact. So you know, he's got a hell of a lot of money, I'd assume. He's had such a phenomenal career, and I'd rather edge on the side of caution and get out when you know you're going to be safe, rather than have 2 or 3 more fights at higher weight against bigger guys and have dog fights, and then go, you know, God, I don't want anybody in this sport to have problems, you know, through boxing. I want everyone to get out of it happy, healthy, and I only want that for everyone, especially Josh.
Well, Jack said something admirable at the very end of our interview where he said, you know, maybe I'll go and fight for a world title and then come back and give Josh a shot at it.
Do you know what? What a sort of bit of a fairy tale story that'd be. It would be really nice. And if that scenario unfolds, then why not? But listen, I want Jack Catterall to be a world champion. What happens after that happens after that. Let's not sort of jump ahead of the gun, but I wish nothing but the best for Josh Taylor. You know, he's a phenomenal fighter, and I've got a lot of respect for him.
Well, Teofimo is going to be facing Steve Claggett June 29th in Miami. Maybe you guys could be ringside?
Well, maybe, yeah. And Eddie's not a fan of the fight by the sound of it before. But I'd love to. I'd love to be ringside for that, because, you know, your presence at ringside sometimes can be the difference between the fight being made or not. So yeah, I'd love to go and watch that fight. Yeah,
You got to push the fight.
Exactly that.
I'm thinking like Sam Jones right now.
Well, listen, if Sam's there, he'll start. He loves WWE. He'll start throwing chairs and stuff like that. But you know what? To be fair, Jack's not the type of guy who will call someone out. You know, he's really maybe go under the radar because of that. Even though now his name's going to be right in the mix with everyone else because he just beat Josh.
But you'll have all of the U.S. media talking about it. So,
and if he's there and he's present, then people are going to start talking about him. Maybe he could come and sit at a press conference afterwards like this.
Yeah, and him and his missus can extend the honeymoon over to Miami. Why not?
And then we'll all jump on board, and I'll take my missus, and Nige can take Susie as well.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. I'll see you sipping a beer right over there.
Yeah, no, let's do it. We're going to go and celebrate now, and I've got the Manchester 10K in the morning as well. So we're doing it for charity. We're all doing it. Jack should have been doing it, but he's got a massive blister on his toe. So Nigel's amateur, Pat Brown, who's on GB, he's going to the Olympics. He's going to take his place instead, so we'll be all right.
Plus, he had a hard night.
Yeah, of course he deserves a day off.
He deserves to sleep in.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Bye, Fight fans.